And we're live. Good evening. This is the Tech Travel Geeks podcast for the evening of July 29th, 2018. This is a new podcast. I'm your host, Matteo. This is actually our second attempt at episode 1 of the podcast. And I'm joined this evening by our Chief Aperture Officer, Lukasz. Good evening, Lukasz.
Hello.
So, this is the Tech Travel Geeks podcast where we discuss consumer electronics, gadgets, accessories, which make life easier for travelers. And we're both quite enthusiastic about what we do. Lukasz, you're a Chief Aperture Officer. What does that mean?
I'm all about cameras. I'm all about photo, video. That's one of my biggest hobbies just now. So playing with cameras, editing photos, etc. That's something I love. And when it comes to consumer electronics, I'm all about phones with great cameras, about the latest photo and camera gadgets and things like that.
And you're very good at editing content as well. You've edited most of our professional or semi-professional videos on Tech Travel Geeks, both our YouTube channel, which our listeners and watchers can subscribe to, and other sites as well.
Yes, we actually started together. I joined you at coolsmartphone.com. I edited a few videos with you and for you, and then we started Tech Travel Geeks around 4 months ago. And video editing is one of my passions. It's very time consuming, and I'm trying to improve on the speed, but this is coming together just now. So yeah, it's one of my passions.
So we're still building our processes and creating content, both video, audio, like this podcast, and also writing content for techtravelgeeks.com, where I am chief mobile opinionist. I am the person with the mobile opinions at Tech Travel Geeks. Not to say that you don't have them, Lukasz, but I have. That's my primary role, is to have opinions on mobile stuff. And so, yes, we've started techtravelgeeks.com. We started about 4 months ago. And our first proper video and article was your unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. Are you still using that device, Lukasz?
Indeed, yes. That's still my main device. I've been using the S9 for the last 4-6 months, probably, since it got released, I think in April of this year. It's a fantastic phone it's a great phone with a fantastic camera. Great all-around phone that has been my main device, especially photo. Even though I have a very good video camera, I still use S9 Plus for photos because it's so much more convenient.
Very good. And what's your preferred camera in the camera department?
So the camera you can see just behind me, the Panasonic GH5, which is I would say, prosumer camera. So it's a very good, it's a micro four thirds camera. So it's, and it's mirrorless. It's a really good video camera. It records 4K in 60 frames per second, which means that you can slow it down to 40%, which makes video look like it's slow motion. And you can do 180 frames per second in full HD. So it produces some really good quality video.
It does indeed. And if you haven't seen them, you can look on the Tech Travel Geeks YouTube channel, as well as on techtravelgeeks.com. Most of our videos are high-quality videos that Lukasz spends a lot of time editing, whereas some of the videos are mine. They're pretty dirty, handheld videos of phone unboxings or quick reviews or quick takes of what I see, both related to travel, but also related to just my personal interests and mobile.
But you have the opinions, so that's what counts.
Yes. On the internet, if you don't have an opinion, you're invisible.
Indeed. So what's your phone of choice? I can guess you have quite a few of those.
Yes, so
Knowing
I
you.
have multiple devices, which I use for traveling quite a lot. Mobile devices are very useful for keeping in touch with friends, family, cats, whilst traveling. And so, yes, I have quite a selection of devices. I'd say I have five main devices at any given time. And at the moment, the top of the pile is the Google Pixel 2 XL, followed very closely by the Huawei P20 Pro. That's the one with three cameras on the back. Then the Honor 10 smartphone, the BlackBerry Key 1, and last but not least is at the moment a Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro, which is a Chinese device with a very long, complicated name, but it's very good. It has a big battery, it has a big screen, the battery life lasts a long time, and I'm very happy with that. And at the moment, I'm in the putting the finishes and touches on the Tech Travel Geeks review of the Nokia One, a very inexpensive Android device from the revived Nokia, running Google's Android Go edition of Android. So this is a very inexpensive device, but final verdict will be on Tech Travel Geeks very soon.
One feature I was surprised by was that it has removable batteries, which is a first in I've seen in years.
Yes, removable batteries in smartphones are becoming a thing of the past. They definitely are in the tablet space as well. So iPads, Amazon Fire tablets, Samsung tablets, they all have built-in batteries that you can't remove. But the Nokia has that. It's a very convenient feature. If you don't regularly have access to a charger, you can buy a spare battery for as little as £6.50 and swap them in and out when needed.
Yep.
So much the same as you and I do with our pretty good cameras. We have multiple batteries, and your drone. You do quite a lot of cool drone footage with your drone.
I do, yeah. That's another of my passions. So I've had the Mavic Pro drone, and now I have the Mavic Air, which are both fantastic devices. You can see some footage from time to time on Tech Travel Geeks, or on my personal YouTube channel, where I'll be soon, hopefully, producing some videos from my recent travels.
Excellent. And speaking about recent travels, you have recently been all the way around the world heading east. Tell us more
In,
about that.
Indeed, yeah. So April and May of this year, I traveled from Edinburgh, as you said, eastwards. So I visited Poland briefly, where I'm from, then Singapore, Australia, Fiji, New Zealand, Hawaii, Vancouver, New York, and back home, including quite a lot of travel around Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand being my favorite of the bunch. And I did take my drone, which is a tiny, tiny device, which you can even put in your pocket if you have bigger pockets. And I've got some footage which I was quite impressed with. So yeah, I'm in process of editing some video from that as well.
Excellent. We look forward to reading about that and watching videos of that on techtravelgeeks.com. So,
Certainly.
as we mentioned at the beginning of this episode, this is an experiment for us. This is the first episode where we're introducing ourselves to you. But our plan is to go ahead and have guests on the show to speak to a diverse group of people about how they travel, what their travels are like, and what gadgets and accessories they use, or what tips and tricks they have to make their travel experience more pleasant, or to save money, or to get from A to B faster. So we'll be speaking to a series of guests from next week onwards. We have an exciting lineup, starting with Miriam Jawar, who's a personal hero of mine, about her travel. experiences and tips and tricks and gadgets. And she's recently taken delivery of a Tesla Model 3 car, which arguably is one of the biggest gadgets out there. Lukasz, you have you been involved in Tesla and their Model 3? What's your investment in it?
Yeah, so I've been a big fan of Tesla for a couple of years now, and I decided to order one, the Tesla Model 3, back in November of 2016. So I've been on the waiting list for 2 years, almost 2 years, and probably another year until it comes to the Scottish shores, because all the sales have been so far in North America. So yeah, I'm waiting for one. As you mentioned, this is a fantastic gadget. It's a great car, even though I'm not a big car person. I still drive a Ford Fiesta 2004, but this is something I'm very excited about in the future.
Very good. So we that will also be something we'll be covering is vehicles. When I travel, quite often when I go on vacation with my partner, we tend to rent vehicles. So you get a taster of cars, often doing thousands of miles in the space of a relatively short amount of time. So we'll also be bringing you some quick takes and reviews of some of the rental vehicles we pick up around the world.
Yeah, I recently followed your advice and I ended up renting a Ford Mustang convertible in Hawaii, which was really an epic experience. So yeah, and also if you use Uber around the world, a quick tip from me, you can end up actually renting a Tesla, not renting, but being driven in a Tesla. There is a specific category in Dubai. You can just be driven in a Tesla, and it's a really good experience as well.
It is. It's good fun to have that option to choose an electric car as your Uber ride or Lyft ride, if that's available in the city where the service is offered. So yes, we've mentioned that. Just quickly introductions. Do you have an airline or a particular category of airlines that you're particularly passionate about, Lukasz?
To be honest, I'm quite open. I travel BA quite a lot. My sister lives near Heathrow, so that's an airline I fly often. I'm not very much about the which airline to choose. I want to get there the cheapest, the fastest I can. So my round the world trip was including the cheapest airlines you can get, not caring about the comfort. I preferred to invest in my experiences. So skydiving or bungee jumping was higher on my list than flying on Singapore Airlines, for example. But yeah, but you are a fan of one specific airline, a group of airlines.
So I'm personally a fan of KLM, Royal Dutch Airlines, just because they have consistently been giving me good customer service, and in one instance, really made a big difference in a personal event. I was traveling from Edinburgh to my parents' house in Italy, in Milan, and I had my sister's wedding cake in my hand luggage. Despite a massive power outage at Amsterdam Schiphol, one of my favorite global airports, the KLM made sure that I got to Milan in plenty of time for the wedding, whilst other people who would have been on the original flights I was going to be on had to spend the night in a hotel. So they really prioritized and made sure I was there in time. So KLM have won my loyalty, but have continued to maintain that with consistently good customer service and good overall service, getting me from A to B reliably around the world. And as an extension of that, SkyTeam, so KLM, Air France, Delta, China Southern, China Eastern, and other airlines are part of that airline family. So that's another thing we'll be covering on Tech Travel Geeks is not just the gadgets and the accessories, but the overall experience, some things that tips and tricks that could make life easier. So, I think, Lukasz, is there anything else we need to cover that we didn't cover in our first take, or that we did and we haven't covered in this take of episode 1 of the Tech Travel Geeks podcast?
I think it's a good start. We will. We hope that the issue that we had with Google Hangouts this earlier today doesn't happen again, because it somehow cut the video in half, basically.
Exactly. Our YouTube video after the event was severely broken and jumpy, so hopefully it doesn't happen this time as well. If it does, we'll need to look into it. But for today, thank you very much for listening. As mentioned, we have a more structured format coming up, but this was the Tech Travel Geeks introduction. So, Lukasz, Chief Aperture Officer at Tech Travel Geeks, thanks for joining me this evening for the second recording of the evening. And from me, Matteo, Chief Mobile Opinionist at Tech Travel Geeks, good night, and thanks for watching and listening. If you did enjoy this, please do also subscribe to our YouTube channel or to our podcast RSS feed. Thanks for watching and listening, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.